Hey everyone, Dan at Bushcraft. Well, what I just showed you guys was some of the items that I might carry in a water bottle survival kit. So briefly, hottest time of the year. We're going into July, we're going into August. Everywhere I go, people are carrying water bottles. They're carrying them to work. I see them in church on Sunday. They're carrying them anytime they're away from their vehicle, going for a walk in the parks, out on trails. In the stores, I see people bringing their own water bottles, even into restaurants. Very, very common. People carry their water bottle. Sadly, a person is much more likely to carry their water bottle with them than they are a survival kit. So what you can do is take your water bottle and turn it into a survival kit. So when you have your water bottle and you're leaving your home and you're going for a walk to work, the store, whatever, you always have a survival kit with you. And probably the number one biggest problem with survival kits is they get left behind. People think, I just don't want to put that on today, or I don't want to carry that with me. I'm too tired, I'm too hot, whatever the reason, whatever the excuse, but they'll grab their water bottle because it's hot out and they know they're going to get thirsty. So I want to give you guys some ideas, and then I'm going to select some items, put together my own little kit, and maybe we'll try to come back out here and do some videos on using the kit. So let's start with the pouch. And by the way, if you want to add a wildflower to your kit, feel free. I thought it was just appropriate this morning. All right, I have looked at a lot of water bottle pouches. In fact, I own a lot. You know, the Pathfinder, Condor, some of the other brands. For carrying a pouch by itself, not attached to a pack, my favorite is this one called Orca. It'll be in the description. You can get it on Amazon. It has some features that most water bottle pouches don't have, and that's why I think it is a better choice for a survival kit. First of all, it has 3 ways to carry. Most pouches don't have a handle on top. So you can carry this by the handle, and that's how people often carry their water bottles. I see them walking around carrying it by the handle. Only difference is it's in a pouch. You also have a nice shoulder strap with a pad. So it's a padded shoulder strap, so you can sling it over your shoulder. Very comfortable way to walk, especially if you have other things to carry. And thirdly, if you would decide you wanted to make this a part of a molly system, attach it to a backpack, a belt, or whatever, you have very long straps here to attach it to. In addition, it's got the webbing all the way around, so you've got multiple places to attach other pouches. If you really wanted to build this out and put in, some food and a bigger knife, more survival items, all those options are available to you because of all this webbing. So, and it comes in different colors. You don't have to go with OD green. There's some different color choices. And it also has a separate zippered compartment on the bottom, which is handy. So that separates some of your gear, a place to hold it secure. And then of course you have your front pouch, which also has some webbing attachments in here. And the pouch itself is taller than most, so that you can put in a bottle, you can put in a cup, you can actually have room on top to put some more items in. My favorite water bottle is the Nalgene stainless steel. It's a little bit heavier duty, but even a plastic water bottle will work just fine for carrying water. The advantage to the stainless steel, of course, is if you need to purify it, you can set it right in a fire, and there you go. So that just fits down in there perfectly with lots of room for a cup underneath. As you can see, there's several inches of room on top. So you can actually turn the cup over and put it on the top, or put in some more gear on the top. So now you have your water. I recommend you carry a way to purify it, unless you would plan on going ahead and just doing old school boiling. So maybe a little straw, or just some water purification tablets. You need to fill this up at a creek, you drop in a tablet, wait a while, and you're good to go. Okay, so we got our pouch, we got our bottle. So the thing I would do, you have to remember that you have a limited amount of space to work with. And even if you attach a bunch of pouches, which most people aren't going to want to do, they kind of want it to not be standing out. They want it to be inconspicuous. Hey, it's just my water bottle, but secretly they know tucked inside the pouches is emergency survival gear. So you're limited on space. With that being said, I would build my kit around the 5 C's plus first aid. Okay, 5 C's plus first aid. Then anything you want to add to it after that, you want to add a little flashlight, a little compass, something else that you might need, a tube of chapstick, whatever. But start with the 5 C's and a first aid kit, and then build out. That's my personal recommendation. What are the 5 C's? Cutting tool, okay. Combustible, something to get you fire with. Container, we've already taken care of that. We got the water bottle down inside there, so we have a way to stay hydrated. Cordage and cover. So I'm going to go through some options here on what you could carry for these. Okay, and then again at the end I'm going to select some items, put together a kit, and we're almost on top of fire season, so I don't know how that part's going to play out, but we will definitely try to get some videos just doing some basic survival things with the kit. So here's some options. Multi-tool, like the Leatherman Rebar. Great option because you have, you know, your pliers, you have a small saw, you have a knife, you have some tools that you might want to have with you, you have wire cutters. So great option here. I actually have a little box. I'm going to set everything in this box so we don't leave anything in the woods. You might choose a large folding knife like the Ontario Rat one, which is a good knife. I really like it because it has a 90-degree spine, so it will strike a ferro rod. It will make wood shavings. It is my favorite folder, and I've used it a lot out here. I've done videos making fire with this. So a good heavy-duty folder, that's an option. A Swiss Army knife, you know, standard size, or something as big as this Ranger, which has a locking blade and a very large saw, which has been used a lot. You can see I've still got the remains of fat wood on there. And again, optional other tools. That's a good option. And if you're into micro, maybe you want to go super light, super small. You've chosen a different water bottle pouch that has just one little, you know, pocket on it. Well, you can always go micro and do something like this little Leatherman squirt, and it still gives you a little pair of wire cutters and pliers and a small knife blade, and there are scissors in here. So if you are someone that just wants to go micro, there are options that are viable for that. And the heaviest duty that you could go would be, of course, a full tang knife, but it would have to be small to fit in the pouch. So something like this Esee Izula would be absolutely perfect for that. And you can put a 90-degree spine on the back of that for fire starting. So lots of options to carry for cutting tool. And again, I'm going to come back and I'm going to make some choices on the kit. In fact, hey, here's a cool idea for you guys. And I love it to interact with you guys. I get new ideas and things from you guys. I love it when you go out and try out things that you're learning and tell me how it worked. Out of everything I'm showing you, in the comments, share with me what you would have chosen. At the end, I'm going to choose my own, and we're going to assemble this. I'm going to see if what I chose will fit in here and put together. And I would like to know, what your choices would have been out of everything I have here, or if there's something, a different knife perhaps, or a different way of starting a fire that you would have chosen. Put that in the comments. Let's share knowledge with each other. So going on now to combustible. That was cutting. We got container. Of course, great option. Good old Bic lighter. Put in there. Ferro rod. I got a couple different ones here. This one's kind of cool because it glows in the dark. So if I drop it at night, I've got bright orange cordage. So pretty hard to lose this one. This one's a little bit more camel, but couple options. And you're gonna want some tinder in there. Maybe it's raining and you've got a place to shelter, but you don't want to be out hunting for dry tinder or something. So some cotton ball saturated petroleum jelly, or some aftermarket tinder cubes, or tinder tabs, whatever you like. Then cordage. I want some cordage, so maybe you need to put up a tripod, lash a couple poles together, just something to get you the framework for a shelter to get out of the weather. So you could carry a small spool of bank line. That's a good option. I use bank line for most of my shelters out here. Here's something else that I like. You can get this on Amazon. This is Kevlar cord. It comes in different breaking strengths. This one is 200 pound breaking strength, and it is 30 feet. So I have 30 feet of Kevlar cordage on a spool that will fit great. You could also roll up a tiny roll of Gorilla Tape like this and have something. This can be used as a tinder source. It can be used for cordage. It can be used for gear repairs, holding things together. Great option. It's early morning. The birds and the squirrels are waking up. Things are moving around. So if you see me constantly looking off, I always pay attention to movement out here, because it could be something like a wild turkey or a deer or just a squirrel, or it could be a cougar. So whenever I catch movement out of the corner of my eyes, I always look to see. So just so you know, when you constantly see me looking, it's because something is moving. Everything's waking up. Anyway, guys, so what? We've got our container, we've got cordage, we've got combustible, we've got cutting tool. That leaves us with cover. And I only brought one item for cover because you're really limited on space. You cannot fit a tarp or even a poncho inside one of these water bottles. Now, if you wanted to take a compact poncho, there's some cheap ones, which I would not recommend. You might be able to cram one in a pouch. A heavier duty poncho or small tarp, you could roll it up and attach it to the water bottle. Or you could go with something like the SOL heat sheet, which was a way to insulate and help keep you warm. You can use it as a reflector to reflect heat from a fire back onto you, or you can rig it up into a lean-to or an A-frame with your cordage and make it into a shelter. I've done that on a video. Just a couple other things I threw in because it doesn't take up any additional room. I can take one of these little micro keychain lights and clip it right to the outside of the water bottle. Always on my person in the woods. It's in my pocket. It's in every survival kit is a bandana, so I added that as a plus for me. I will use this to catch sawdust, fat wood shavings, wood curls, to gather moss and other materials in. So it's an essential piece of kit for me for gathering materials for fire making. The cotton itself, if you get a cotton one, will also burn. You got some chapstick or something with you, you can rub that in, ignite this, extend the burn time. Of course, it can be used as a bandage. And I want to refill my water bottle right from the stream. I can use this to filter water through and then just drop in a tablet and have clean drinking water. And finally, I just think if you're going to be out hiking, if you're going to be anywhere, I mean, I've cut my finger inside the vehicle, just, reaching into a jockey box. A small little first aid kit. And I shoved a couple other things in here. It's got Band-Aids, it's got gauze, it's even got a pair of mini scissors. These are on Amazon, all different kinds of sizes and shapes. I put in some burn cream. and you can add stingies. I would recommend this time of year, the yellow jackets, the hornets, they will be out visiting me very shortly. So having some stingies, again, some Band-Aids, antibiotic ointment, a packet of Advil or whatever for headaches. There's some antiseptic towelettes in here for cleaning out a cut. And this is pretty compact. It's nice and thin, and it's gonna fit in there. All right, I'm gonna choose, okay? You saw everything laid out. We went through everything. My water bottle's already chosen. I brought my Nalgene because it is my favorite. I like the 39-ounce heavy-duty water bottle. We have one first aid kit. It's gonna go in here. That's a must. And we have one cover option, so that's gonna go in here too. So I've got first aid and I've got shelter. All right, what are we gonna do for knives? We had some great options, and what I am gonna choose is I'm actually gonna choose two options. I'm gonna choose my Leatherman Rebar because this gives me a small saw so that I can cut little pieces of wood. It gives me wire cutters. You may be out hiking in an area where there's old fences or any type of wiring, and you can use that wire to wire pieces of wood together for a shelter or for tools, for making some primitive tools, whatever. So I'm going to use this, and I had these little places right here. I'm going to slide that down inside. So right, make sure you guys can see. And I am going to take the Esee Izula. So I'm going to have a knife with a full tang that is strong enough to baton with and do heavier work as much as I like the Ontario Rat 1. It is my favorite folder. Because I have a folding knife in the multi-tool, I'm going to go for something heavy duty. For its size, this is very heavy duty, and that should fit down in here. It's going to be a little tight, but that'll fit. Okay, so now we need a fire, and I'm going to take two fire options. I'm going to go with my glow-in-the-dark ferro rod so that if I set it down anywhere, I can find it day or night. And I will shove that down here in this other slot. All right, so that covers what we've got: our first aid, we've got our cover, we've got cutting tools, we've got one combustible. I'm going to add to that here in a second. So that fills that pouch pretty tight. There is a little bit of room in here. I could probably get like a small snack item in here, but of course there's room on top of the bottle. We have all this room right here. So a small packet of trail mix or something would fit perfect in here. And if you got cold water in your bottle, then that would stay cool. I didn't bring anything like that, but there's an option. So in the bottom, I'm going to take my bandana, and I'm going to take some of these tinder tabs. I'm going to put them in the bandana along with the lighter. So now I have two combustibles. I have tinder. I have my bandana, which I just feel is essential. And try to get where you guys can see. I'm going to use this strap on the bottom. Shove it all in there. Okay, so check that out. Held securely in the strap is a lighter, quick tinder tabs, and my cotton bandana. Now we have to make a choice for cordage. I've got this Kevlar cord, and I have been carrying it in some of my other small kits. I think I'm going to go ahead and put my bank line in here and seal that up. Now I got lots of room left in here, so because I have so much room, I'm going to take this little mini roll of Gorilla Tape. I'm going to slide it in here too. Okay. And is there anything left? Yeah, you know what? As I mentioned before, this isn't going to take up any room inside because I'm going to take this little keychain light. And now, if it gets late, I'm walking back to my vehicle, I at least have some light. And if somebody's yelling, Dan, where are you? I'm over here. All right, guys, we covered the 5 C's. That's priority, in my opinion, in doing any type of a small kit like this, whether it be a belt pouch, water bottle, whatever, and first aid. And then we had some extra items. We added the little roll of Gorilla Tape. We added a little flashlight. As far as I'm concerned, the cotton bandana is an essential, even though it's not one of the 5 C's. There's always a way to put it in a kit, around a kit, on a kit, something. And we're ready to go. All right, so we are geared up. We have our water bottle. And again, this time of year, and I'm sure you're seeing it too, people everywhere are carrying water bottles. So why not turn your water bottle into a survival kit with a nice pouch like this Orca? I'm ready to go. I can carry it over my shoulder if that's what I choose to do. Want to go out hiking. If I'm just going to work, maybe I'm going up an elevator into a restaurant, I'll just get rid of the shoulder strap and carry this by the handle, which is the way I see a lot of people carrying their water bottles. And I'm good. And again, just to emphasize this, the #1 problem with survival kits is that people leave them behind. I just don't want to pack it today. I just don't want to carry it. But they won't leave their water behind. So if the kit is attached to the water, and the kit's not going to get left behind. Dan at Ochco Bushcraft, guys, I'm off. And we'll come back and we'll use some of this stuff. Now that I've put together a kit, we'll use it. But again, in the comments, I would like to know, out of the items I had laid out, what would you have chosen? Or is there something completely different that you would have chosen in your kit that I didn't lay out? I think it's very cool to exchange knowledge. Take care, everyone. Dan at Ochco Bushcraft.